Yep.
Hey, welcome back. This is part 2 of our Louisville trip. Southside Sippers. I'm John.
I'm Kaya.
Sorry, getting bad at that. We did a tour at Michter's.
Michter's Fort Nelson in Louisville.
Yep.
Wait. Hold on. Louisville.
Louisville.
We were told we were mispronouncing it. So
It's not Louisville.
It's not Louisville.
Or
not Louisville. It's Louisville. Like
Louisville.
You got a bag of marbles in your mouth.
Louisville.
So yeah, historic building. Fort Nelson used to be a oh gosh, what was their building? Was it a hat factory? They made garments, something like hats and something else.
Something like that. It used to be part of a fort. It was a mashup of a lot of different things, I think.
They renovated the building. All the original brick was still there, and then just reinforced by steel beams. And in several places, you can actually see the cracks in the walls that were literally banded over with steel beams. So it was a cool building, a historic landmark.
It was neat. Yeah.
Michter's is known for their. They've got a bar on the 3rd floor as well. We unfortunately did not get to experience that. We won't go into details there. A little sour taste in my mouth, but you do need a reservation before you go. So
sore subject there.
Make sure.
Yeah.
We've been told it's cool, it's quiet, small. Neat experience, one of the best bars in the city, but
we'll never know.
We will have to go back and try it.
Maybe. Luckily, when we went in there, they were doing their packs of barrel strength rye and their rye, which I was excited about because I've heard a lot of good things. Now this is my 2nd bottle. I've yet to open the 1st bottle, but we did open it while we were down there, of course.
You opened your 2nd bottle before your 1st.
Yeah, I never opened the 1st one. Well, I got it and I put it in the Battle of the Rye.
Oh, so we haven't gotten to that yet.
We haven't gotten to that, so we'll just use this
look
bottle.
Forward to, yeah.
We've tried the single barrel rye in our Battle of the Ryes, and unfortunately it did not fare well, but we're going to give her another go. I think Kai is going to do the, I'm going to pour her a small glass of the single barrel rye, and I'm going to go for that barrel proof rye. Just because I think it's pretty good.
So we did a couple of distillery tours. We had done one, gosh, almost over a year ago. We did a couple on our little adults-only vacation here, and this was the first of 3 that we toured. But it was kind of fun to see the differences in the different distilleries. So what stands out about Michter's, they're actually really known for their sour mash.
Sour mash.
Which means that they use the same kind of mash profile from one distillate to the next instead of starting over with a fresh new batch. They are also...
they described it as like a sourdough bread recipe where...
Got to carry the yeast down.
Carry it over. I think of it as, because we talked about it before, what was that bread we used to do?
The friendship bread. The Amish friendship bread, yeah.
That's what
you save a little back and then you use that as the next batch. So.
I couldn't get that out of my head when we were sitting in the distillery, though, when they were talking about this, because I'm like, friendship bread. That sounds good. But
that'd be good with this bourbon.
It was just in my head.
Something else that was unique to stand out about this particular distillery is that they use the elements to dry out the wood for their barrels. A lot of other distilleries will use a heating unit, a heating room to kind of flash dry their wood. The idea was that letting it age naturally over time opens up the wood grain, so you get more of that bourbon moving in and out of the wood. And then their mash. You remember their mash barrels? They used all wood mash barrels and the original wood. And their barrels were almost half the size of what you normally see in a steel one, because they can't regulate the temperature. So if that mash bill gets too hot, you're killing off your yeast. It kind of destroys the flavor. So keeping it small, they can better regulate the temperature of that. But there is no way to manually...
and I cannot remember the wood they use, but apparently it's...
super hard to get. Is it cedar? Don't quote me on that.
It's not cedar, but it was... I don't remember. I know it wasn't cedar. It was something that's protected by the government, and they had to go through a big process because a couple of their boards were bad, and they had to replace a couple boards from one of their mash tanks, and apparently it was a
real bear to do.
They had to go through a lot of hoops just to get a couple of those boards because it is protected wood, and It'll bother me.
So it was kind of fun to see the mash bill there, and then they don't obviously store. Well, this distillery did not store their barrels there. They had a nice little tasting room, kind of combination of old school exposed brick steel beams, but a little modernized as well. They had us do a real fun experiment. You should just do the tour. I'm not going to ruin it for you if I tell you now. It's just going to ruin the experiment. So you have to check it out. We had a great tour guide, Rebecca. She was awesome. Thank you. What are you getting out of this particular?
We had a lot of goodness. It tastes so good.
I'm getting a lot of smoke, to be honest, right out of this one.
I don't smell anything, but my nose is broken, so I just drink now.
In 2023, they were recommended as the most admired whiskey in the world by Drinks International. Whiskey with an E. So if your country has an E in their name, like the United States, you're making whiskey, there's going to be an E in whiskey. If you are a country without an E in your name, like Scotland, and you're making whiskey, there will be no E in the word whiskey. We learned that while we were there too.
Except for
it was an exception.
Makers, I think.
Because they honor their Scottish heritage.
I think it was Makers.
I think you're right. And it was one of those, and I know it was Scotland. One of the big ones.
Yeah. This is so good. If you get a chance, the barrel strength rye.
Can you find this outside the still? Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously, because you bought it.
Yeah, it's just it's not easy to find.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. It's a neat little tour. We'd recommend it, just off of Whiskey Row.
It's a nice place. We enjoyed it.
We popped over to the Fraser Museum right after this tour and have a really cool bottle room. Really cool bottle room. Really cool. Bottles on glass shelves lit up from behind. Just we oogled over those bottles, all kinds, super rare bottles.
And then they have tucked away like old, like very antique medicine whiskey bottles, which was really neat to see some of the history of where it's gone and where it's came from, and this is super cool.
A lot of it was used during the prohibition for prescription strength. We found a prescription label on one of the bottles that was had a doctor's name on it. Looked like a prescription label, similar to what you see now on this little bottle of bourbon, but it said it was prescribed for weakness. Well, that's my kind of medicine.
Exactly. It was cool.
Yeah, this was nice. It was good.
It was a lot of fun. So we would recommend going, checking it out. Let us know if you've
been there.
If you've gotten into the bar, since we're not allowed in there.
If you have a favorite cocktail from the bar since you've been. And yeah.
We'd be curious. So other than that, leave us some comments. Sip responsible, guys. Have a good day.